शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करभावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। अगजानन पद्मार्कं गजाननमहर्निशम् अनेकदन्तं भक्तानाम् एकदन्तमुपास्महे। श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां श्रीहयग्रीवमुपास्महे। श्रीहयग्रीवमूर्तये नमः। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। श्रीमहासरस्वत्यै नमः। उमाकोमलहस्ताब्ज सम्भावितललाटकं हिरण्यकुण्डलं वन्दे कुमारं पुष्करस्रजं। வெற்றிவேல் முருகனுக்கு ஹரஹரோஹரா. லோகவீரியம் மகாபூஜ்யம் சர்வரக்ஷாகரம் விபும் பார்வதி ஹிருதயானந்தம் சாஸ்தாரம் பிரணமாம்யகம். சுவாமியே சரணமையப்பா. वागर्ताविव सम्पृक्तौ वागर्त प्रतिपत्तये जगतः पितरौ वन्दे पार्वती परमेश्वरौ। श्री पार्वती परमेश्वराभ्यां नमः। कोमलं कूजयन् वेणुं श्यामलोऽयं कुमारकः वेदवेद्यं परब्रह्मा तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। पीताम्बरं करविराजितचक्रशङ्खकौमोदकी सरसिजं करुणासमुद्रं राधासहायम् अतिसुन्दरमन्दहासं वातालयेशम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। कृष्णो रक्षतु मां चराचरगुरुः कृष्णं नमस्ये सदा। कृष्णेनैव सुरक्षितोऽहमसकृत् कृष्णाय दत्तं मनः। कृष्णादेव समुद्भवो मम विभो कृष्णस्य दासोऽस्म्यहं। कृष्णे भक्तिरचञ्चलास्तु भगवन् हे कृष्ण तुभ्यं नमः। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं नम्राणां सन्निधत्ते सततमपि पुरस्तैरणभ्यर्थितानपि आर्तान् कामानजस्रं वितरति परमानन्दसान्द्रां गतिं च। इत्थं निःशेषलभ्यो निरवधिकफलः पारिजातो हरे त्वं क्षुद्रं तं शक्रवाटी ध्रुममभिलषति व्यर्थमर्तिव्रजोऽयं। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं श्रीभट्टपादम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। वंशी विभूषितकरात् नवनीरदाभात् पीताम्बरात् अरुणबिम्बफलादरोष्टात् पूर्णेन्दुसुन्दरमुखात् पूर्णेन्दुसुन्दरमुखात् अरविन्दनेत्रात् कृष्णात् परं किमपि तत्त्वमहं न जाने। കൈരണ്ടും കൂപ്പി ഞാൻ വീണ്ടുമീറക്കുന്നു നീരജലോചനാനിന്നോടായി ഏതീനു മഞ്ഞനെ കുമ്പിടേണ്ടാത്തോരു പ്രീതിയിൽ നീ എന്നെ പാലിക്കെന്നായി. കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ. Good morning, everyone. Okay, so now we have limited audience today. So we'll just directly jump into the Chakam 56. We'll probably do the review next week of 54 and 55 as well. So 56 is the continuation of the Kaliya Mardana. We already saw 54, 55 last time. And 56 is Kaliya Mardane Bhagavad Anugraha Varnana. So where finally the dance is happening, the dance was beginning to happen at the end of the 55th Dashakam. 56 is where the dance is happening, and then the blessings that Krishna gives to Kaliya, right? That's 56. Okay, so let's see here. Maybe Shashi, you can be student, and Vijay, you can be student. Stanza 1. रुचिरकम्पितकुण्डलमण्डलः सुचिरमीशननर्तितपन्नगे अमरताडितदुन्दुभिसुन्दरं बियति गायति दैवतयौवते. So in the previous thing, the last stanza or the ninth stanza, we saw how Krishna then jumped on top of Kaliya. So all the Gopas and Vrajabhumi people had all assembled to see what was happening to Krishna. He was initially coiled, Kaliya had coiled Krishna around, but finally he had gotten out of that and he had gotten onto the hood of Kaliya, right? That's where we left 55. So 56, so Krishna, who is the master of fine arts. And like I was telling, when he goes to Sandipani Ashramam in 76, he learned all the 64 types of arts in 64 days, right? Because Krishna knows everything. So Krishna, he then decides to dance on Kaliya. So the way he starts dancing is, Kaliya, like I said, has many hoods or many heads. So as Krishna is now keeping his feet on each of the heads of Kaliya, so all of these snakes, some of the snakes at least, even if you look at the pictures, they have like a jewel at the top of their head. Some of them probably did. So as Krishna was keeping his head on the top of Kaliya, Krishna's feet was getting red because of stamping on the head of Kaliya. So with that, with your pink feet or with your reddish feet, Krishna, you then start dancing. And your Ruchira Kundala Mandalaha, the earrings you're wearing, because you are not dancing, the earrings are beginning to also dance. So you are also tuning your steps according to how your earrings were moving around. And like we said, this is like what do you call, Lord Shiva dances, right? But other than that, Krishna is the only one who's dancing, and he's dancing on top of the snake. To, of course, see all this, all the demigods and gods, everybody decides to assemble upon sky to see how this Kaliya Mardanam is going. So you then now Krishna start dancing to the tune, right? That you are actually hearing. Ruchira Kampita Kundala Mandalaha, Suchira Misha Nanartita Pannage Amara Tadita Dundubi Sundaram, Biyati Gayati Daivata Yauvate. Ruchirakamпита Kundala Mandalaha Suchiramisha Nanartita Pannage Amaratadita Dundubhisundaram Biyati Gayati Daivata Yauvate.
रुचिरकम्पितकुण्डलमण्डलः सुशिरमीशननर्तितपन्नगे. Shall I start?
Yeah, go ahead, yeah.
Okay. रुचिरकम्पितकुण्डलमण्डलः सुचिरमीशननर्तितपन्नगे अमरताडितदुन्दुभिसुन्दरं वियति गायति दैवतयौवते. रुचिरकम्पितकुण्डलमण्डलः सुचिरमीशननर्तितपन्नगे अमरताडितदुन्दुभिसुन्दरं वियति गायति दैवतयौवते.
रुचिरकम्पितकुण्डलमण्डलः सुचिरमीशननर्तितपन्नगे अमरताडिततुन्दुभिसुन्दरं वियति गायति दैवतयौवते. रुचिरकम्पितकुण्डलमण्डलः सुचिरमीशननर्तितपन्नगे अमरताडिततुन्दुभिसुन्दरं वियति गायति दैवतयौवते.
Stanza 2. Namati yadyadamushya shirohare परिविहाय तदुन्नतमुन्नतं परिमतन् पदपङ्करुहाचिरं व्यहरताः करतालमनोहरम्. So the way Krishna was dancing on this, because Kaliya had multiple heads, the whole intention was to eliminate the pride of Kaliya, and we'll see that a little later when the conversation happens. So whichever hood Kaliya would raise because of pride, Krishna would put his feet on that hood, so that hood will then go down, going down. So with this, you are actually jumping from head to head, or from each of the, for each of the head to head of hood of Kalia, trampling on each of his head, whichever is raising up, right? Just like how you would kind of make the stubborn one go down. And at the same time, Krishna, you were also playing your flute. So you are playing your flute, you are jumping from head to head, and then your earrings was also dancing. With this, everything was in synchrony, right? That you were actually doing with this. So with this, you continue dancing for a long time on Kalia's head, jumping from whichever. And sometimes Kalia used to lift some other head because he used to come up to see what is actually happening. So at that time, he used to jump over to that head. With this, you are jumping from one hood to another hood of Kalia. Namati Yedyad Amushya, if you want to break it, Yedyad Amushya Shiro Hare, comma, Parivihaya Tadunnatam Unnatam, Parimathan Pada Pankaruha Chiram. All of this you are dancing with your very tender like feet, 6 years old or 6.5 years old. Pada Pankaruha Chiram, comma, Vyaharataha, put a ich sound, Vyaharatah Karatala Manoharam. नमति यद्यदमुष्य शिरो हरे परिविहाय तदुन्नतमुन्नतं परिमथन् पदपङ्करुहाचिरं व्यहरताः करतालमनोहरम्.
नमते यद्यदमुष्य शिरो हरे परिविहाय तदुन्नतमुन्नतं परिमतन् पदपङ्करुहाचिरं व्यहरताः करतालमनोहरम्. नमते यद्यदमुष्य शिरो हरे परिविहाय तदुन्नतमुन्नतं परिमतन् पदपङ्करुहाचिरं व्यहरताः करतालमनोहरम्.
नमदीयद्यदमुष्य चिरो हरे परिविहाय तदुन्नतमुन्नतं परिमतन् पदपङ्करुहा चिरं व्यहरदाः करतालमनोहरम्.
Vijay, the first line, third word is shasho, shiro.
Shiro, okay. नमदीयद्यदमुष्य शिरो हरे परिविहाय तदुन्नतमुन्नतं परिमतन् पदपङ्करुहाचिरं व्यहरदाः करतालमनोहरम्.
That's 3. त्वदव भग्न विभुग्न फनागने गलित शोणित शोणित पातसी फणिपतावसीदति सन्नताः तदबलास्तव माधव पादयोः. So Krishna now dancing on Kalia's head like this, jumping on each of the hoods. Finally, the snake was running out of energy, right? And then he's not able to lift his hood anymore. So once he's not able to lift his hood anymore, just like how in Gajendra Moksham also we saw, Gajendra tried to fight for a really long time, feeling that I can fight with my own strength. And only when the point comes where you're not able to fight with your strength, then you finally surrender to the Lord. So Kalia is no different. So he tries to kind of lift his head and tries to resist. And finally, he comes to a point where it is not able to even lift any of his hoods. So at that time, just like how Gajendra is doing a stuti in his mind, right, which Bhagavan can hear even if you think in your mind, similarly, Kalia is surrendering to the Supreme Lord Narayana in his mind, right? So he surrenders saying that, I think I realized who you are. You are, of course, the Supreme Lord Narayana who himself has come here, because who else can trample on my head like this? So with that, he surrenders in his mind to Krishna or to Narayana. At the same time, here Kalia, the snakes have multiple wives or multiple family members, right? So they all realize what has actually happened. How a big snake like Kalia is not able to even move. So they also come, and then they also kind of surrender to Krishna. And what it means is they kind of give up, right? And they kind of, think in their mind that we don't want to do anything to you. We are completely surrendering to you. So with that, they all approached Krishna as well. Twadava bhagna vibhugna phanagane, comma, Galita, Shonita, Shonita, Patasi. So the C is a short E there. Pani Patavavasidati. It's one word. Pani Patavavasidati. Sannataha. So that is there. Put a visarga comma. Tadabalas Tava Madhava Padayoho.
அது ராஜேஸ்ரீ அது கலிதாவா கதிதாவா அது
Which
கலிதா
the Galita Shonita and the word that is Galita.
in my book it says gatita
Okay, just change it to la sound. Galita.
Thank you.
Twadava bhagna vibhugna phanagane Galita shonita pantasi Phanipata vavasidati sannataha Tadabalastava madhava padayoho.
वदवभग्नविभुग्नफनागणे गलितशोणितशोणितपातसि पणिपताववसीदति सन्नतः तदबलास्तव माधवपादयोः.
The third one, Shashi, is Sannataha.
Okay, sannataha I said, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ajeshji, I have a question. In the
Yeah.
first line, first word, is this Twadapagna or Twadavapagna?
Twadhava bhagna.
Okay, in mine it's written Twadapagna. Okay.
Okay. Twadhava bhagna.
One more question. Is it Sannataha or Sannatas?
And the is we are removing, putting visarga and comma there. So Sannataha.
Okay.
फनागणे गलितशोणितशोणितपातसि फणिपदाववसीदति सन्नताः तदबलास्तव माधवपादयोः.
Padayoho. Visarga at the end.
पादयोः.
पदवपग्नविपुग्नपणागणे कलिदशोणितशोणितपादसि पणिपदाववसीदति सन्नताः तदबलास्तव माधवपादयोः. त्वदवपग्नविपुग्नपणागणे कलिदशोणितशोणितपादसि पणिपदाववसीदति सन्नताः तदपलास्तव माधवपादयोः.
And so forth. Ai puraiva chiraya parishrutatvadanubhava vilina hridohitaha munibhirapyanavapya pataistuvaihi nunuburisha bhavantamantritam. So then the family, the wives of Kaliya, they went prostrate to Krishna. Then they say, whatever punishment you are offering to, to Kaliya is just, because after all, Krishna, your whole incarnation in this earth right now is to get rid of evil people, to get rid of, what do you call, cruel people. So you're very impartial. It doesn't matter who is doing wrong, right? You're always impartial to all of those things. So whatever you have done is actually right. In fact, what you've done is actually a mercy, because, only when the Supreme Lord looks down and identifies the problem and the mistakes you've done, it's like a blessing to you, because you will then stop doing it, right? So he says what you're doing is a forcing function, is a good thing for Kaliya, because now that arrogance will go away and all the damage that Kaliya has done, it will no longer happen. So he says it's a blessing to Kaliya. He says more importantly, he says, what blessing has Kaliya done in his previous life, that all these great sages and the snakes, when they're talking, when I'm saying when they're talking, is they're thinking in their mind, right? Just like how all animals, we just do not understand what they're saying or what they're thinking. So they're saying, all these great sages who have done so much effort to even get a glimpse of you, what blessing has Kaliya done in his previous life that you are actually coming and stepping on him, right? So your feet is touching Kaliya, which itself is a great blessing for Kaliya. So I don't know what great thing, punyam, that Kaliya has done, that you are actually able to dance on Kaliya. So he says, however, no matter, he's done great, he's got a great opportunity. Now he's almost dead. Kaliya is almost dead. So these wives say that, please at least, give them back, I think, or yeah, maybe that comes a little bit in the next answer. But they say that please, let him live, so that we will all also be safe, we will take care, and nothing bad will happen anymore. So that's a prayer and that's a request that the wives of Kaliya is doing right now. Ai puraiva chiraya parishruta, put a plus, tvadanubhava bilina hridohitaha munibhir. So that word, the ra, you can break it if you want, ir and a if you want to. Munibhir Apyanavapya pataihi. Put a is to join. Patais. Stavaihi. So put a visarga and comma there. Stavaihi. The next word, the nunuvurisha, there's a ir on top that goes away. So nunuvurisha bhavantam ayantritam. ऐपुरैव चिराय परिश्रुतत्वदनुभावविलीनहृदोहिताः मुनिभिरप्यनवाप्यपतैस्तवैः नुनुवुरीश भवन्तमयन्त्रितम्.
अयि पुरैव चिराय परिश्रुतत्वदनुभावविलीनहृदोहिताः मुनिभिरप्यनवाप्य पतैः
पतैस्तवैः
पतैस्तवैः नुनुवुरीश अयनित्रम्
अयन्त्रितम्.
नित्रतम्. Okay, sorry.
भवन्तं.
भवन्तमयनित्रतम्.
And then the na you're saying is a full, it's a in. Bhavantam ayantritam.
Okay. Bhavantamyantritam. Okay.
Oh, second type, Shashi.
अयि पुरैव चिराय तत्त्वदनुभावविलीनहृदोहिताः मुनिभिरप्यनवाप्य स्तवैः. I'm sorry,
No,
I didn't get it.
what you're doing is the pataihi, that visarga is there, right? You have to put
Yeah.
it to join it. So patais,
Patai. Okay, patais.
tavaihi. So two is sounds are coming there.
Okay. मुनिभिरभ्यनवाप्य pataihi.
Patais. No.
Pataistavaihi. Is that
Yeah,
right?
correct. Two is patais, stavaihi.
Okay. मुनिभिराभ्यनवाप्य pataistavaihi नुनुवुरीशभवन्तमयन्त्रतम्.
अयि पुरैव चिराय परिश्रुतत्वदनुत्पावविलीनहृदोहिताः मुनिभिरभ्यनवाप्यपदैस्तवैः नुनुवुरे च भवन्तमयन्त्रितम् अयि पुरैव चिराय परिश्रुतत्वदनुत्पावविलीनहृदोहिताः मुनिभिरभ्यनवाप्यपदैस्तवैः नुनुवुरे च भवन्तमयन्त्रितम्.
That's a fine.
Rajesh,
Yeah.
what is the word Nunu Vurisha? I know it's Isha or something, but what does that word mean?
I think it's just praising. It's like some word. Nunuvuhu Isha is the word there. Okay. So Isha is like, oh Lord. And Nunuvuhu is like, I think, praising the Lord. That's what it probably exact. I don't know the exact meaning, but that's the context of that word there.
Thank you.
That's a fine. Hanivadu gana bhakti vilokana pravikasat karuna kula chetasa phanipatir bhavadachyuta jeevitaha tvai samarpita murti ravanamate. So then finally, when the wives come and say, like, please let my husband go, or please let him go, we've learned our lesson. So Krishna is very compassionate. So he says, sure, absolutely, he has absolutely no problems with that. So because your heart melted with compassion, you then let Kalia live, so that nothing happens to him. At the same time, just like how the wives surrendered and the wives did a small stuti, Kalia also does a small stuti to Krishna. Of course, Narayaneeyam is just very condensed, but in Bhagavatam, there's a stuti that Kalia does, which praising Krishna. And in that, once he kind of gains his energy and the vital force and all the senses of Kalia start working, then he starts, doing this stuti. But the most important thing he says is, look, I have been born as a snake. So the moment I'm born as a snake, there are certain inherent characteristics of mine which are going to be with me, which is I'm just going to be ignorant. I'm going to be constantly angry. So these are just characteristics I'm born with, So however, because I'm so conditioned by that it is very hard for me not to be like that, right? However, he says, I've learned my lesson of, not to do unnecessary damage, right? Because that was all the original reason of him coming from Ramanaka, all this backstory, right? So anyway, he says with that, Kalia also surrenders to Krishna. Pani, Vadu, Gana. Some books have Jana. Okay, but you can change it to Gana. It means the same thing, just the family or the clan of it, right? So Gana, Bhakti, Bilokana, put a plus, Pravikasat, Karunakula Chetasa. So those two lines come together. Phanipatir, Bhavadachuta, Jivitaha. So that is there, we put a visarga and comma, Jivitaha. Tvai Samarpita Murtira Vanamat. Phanivadhu Gana Bhakti Vilokana Pravikasat Karuna Kula Chetasa Phanipatir Bhavadachuta Jivitaha Tvai Samarpita Murtiravanamate.
Phanivadu Gana Bhakti Vilokana
Pravikasat.
Pravikasat Karunakula Chetasa Phanipatir Bhavatachuta Jivitaha Tvayi Samarpita Murtiravanamath. Phanivadugna Bhakti Vilokana Pravikasat Karunakula Chetasa Phanipatir Bhavatachuta Jivitaha Tvayi Samarpita Murtiravanamath.
Panivatu Gana Bhakti Vilogana Pravikasat Karunakula Chedasa Panipatir Bhavadachuta Jivitaha Tvai Samarpita Murtiravanamate. Panivatu Gana Bhakti Vilogana Pravikasat Karunakula Chedasa Panipatir Bhavadachuta Jivitaha Tvai Samarpita Murtiravanamath.
Stanza 6. Ramanakam Brajavaridhi Madhyakam Phanirepurna Karoti Virodhitam Iti Bhavat Bachananyati Manayan Phanipatir Niraga Guragai Samham. So Krishna then said, when Kalia, after he's kind of surrendered, Krishna says, sure, absolutely. He says at the same time, you no longer have to remain here, right? I don't want to remain here, because Kalia remaining there inherently, even if he doesn't wish, the poison was actually destroying that entire environment and all of that region, right? So he said, I don't want you to live here. I want you to go back to Ramanakam. If you remember, that's where Kalia originally came from. We saw in the 54th Dasakam, right? So he says, you go back to Ramanakam along with all of your, along with your family and everything. And he says, because my feet has touched on your head, absolutely nobody will come and do anything to you. Because Garuda, if you remember, that the original reason was because Garuda hitting Kalia back in Ramanaka. He says, none of that would happen to you anymore. You are protected from now on. So you can just go back to Ramanakam and then, don't destroy this region, right? So with that, Krishna says that. And then also he tells Kalia, and this is not in Narayaneeyam, it is there in Bhagavatam. It says, whoever remembers this story, this incident, and also, my command to you of leaving Vrindavan and going to the ocean, and who remembers this at sunrise and sunset, will not have fear of snakes anymore, or will not have fear of Kalia or any of the serpents anymore. So, Ramanakam Braja Varidhi Madhyagam, Phani Ripur Na Karoti Virodhitam Iti Bhavat. You can break the dwa if you want. Iti Bhavat Bachananyati Manayan, Pani Patir Niragaduragaihi is there, put a is, Niragaduragais Samam. Ramanakam Brajavaridhi Madhyagam Panirpurna Karoti Virodhitam Iti Bhavat Bachananyati Manayan Panipatir Niragaduragai Samham.
Ramanakam Vrajavaridi Madhyagam Paniripurna Karoti Virodhitam इति भवद्वचनान्यतिमानयन् पणिपतिर्निरगादुरगैः समम् रमणकं व्रजवारिधिमध्यगं पणिरिपुर्न करोति विरोधिताम् इति भवद्वचनान्यतिमानयन् पणिपतिर्निरगादुरगैः समम्.
If you want to break that, Panipatir Niragad Uragais Samam, if you want to break
Okay.
it. Uragai means snake. So Uragais Samam is along with other snakes.
Okay.
रमणकं व्रजवारिधिमध्यकं पणिरिपुर्न न करोति विरोधिताम् इति भवद्वचनान्यतिमानयन् पणिपतिर्निरकातुरगैः समम् रमणकं व्रजवारिधिमध्यकं पणिरिपुर्न करोति विरोधिताम् इति भवद्वचनान्यतिमानयन् पणिपतिर्निरकातुरगैः समम्.
That's it. 7. फणिवदूजनदत्तमनिव्रजज्वलितहारदुकूलविभूषितः तटगतैः प्रमदाश्रुविमिश्रितैः समगतास्वजनैर्दिवसावधौ. So with that, Kalia and his family all decide to leave that place, leave Yamuna river and go back to Ramanakam. So once when all this was happening, we forgot about the Vraj people who were waiting. So Yashoda and Nanda and Balarama and all of them who were almost fainted, like you saw last time, when they saw Krishna dancing on it. And they, of course, cannot understand all the conversations that's going on, but they can see that Krishna is safe. They see that Kalia is gone. And then finally Krishna comes out to the shore, they have, they're extremely happy, right? Nothing happened to Krishna. And of course, they all say, Nanda, it's your blessing. All the good things that you have been doing, the Lord himself has taken care of your son, that he's kind of come literally from the clutches of Kalia. He's escaped and come, right? He says it's really blessed that nothing happened to Krishna. And they're all kind of very happy with that. Pani Vadhu Jana Datta Manibraja, put a plus, Jwalita Hara Dukula Vibhushitaha Tatagataihi, put a F, Tatagatai Pramadashru Vimishritaihi, comma Samagataha, put a is Samagatas Swajanair Divasavadhau. Phanivadu janadattamanivraja-jwalitaharadukula-vibhushitaha tatagataih pramadhashru-vimishritaihi samagataswajanair-divasavadhau.
पणिवदूजनदत्तमनिव्रज-ज्वलितहारदुकूलविभूषितः तदगतैः परमदाश्रु
Sorry, prasound. Pramadashru.
प्रमदाश्रुविमिश्रितैः प्रमदाश्रुविमिश्रितैः तैः is the he there?
Taihi.
Okay, तैः स्वजनैर् दिवसावधौ. Am I right?
Yeah, right.
Okay. पणिवदूजनदत्तमनिव्रज ज्वलितहारदुकूलविभूषितः तदगदैः प्रमदाश्रुविमिश्रितैः समगतस्वजनैर्दिवसावधौ.
That's the last line there, the fourth part of it. Samagatas swajanair divasavadhau.
समगतस्वजनैर्दिवसावधौ. Thank you.
पणिवदूजनदत्तमनिव्रज ज्वलितहारतुकूलविभूषितः तडगदैः प्रमदाश्रुवमिश्रितैः समगदा स्वजनैर्दिवसावतौ.
Viji, and the third line, Vimishritaihi.
Which one?
Pramadashru Vimishritaihi.
Pramadashru Vamichri. Okay. Vamichri.
Vimishritaihi.
Oh, B. Okay. Mine it's saying Vami. Okay.
Okay, Vimishritaihi.
Vamichri. Okay. अनिवधू जनतत्तमनिवृज ज्वलितहारतुकूलविभूषितः तडगदैः प्रमदाश्रुविमिश्रितैः समगदा स्वजनैर्दिवसावतौ.
Answer 8. निशिपुनस्तमसाव्रजमन्दिरं व्रजितुमक्षम एव जनोत्करे स्वपति तत्र भवच्चरणाश्रये दवकृशानुररुन्धसमन्ततः. So that's the end of the Kaliya episode, 54, 55, and almost through 7 stanzas of 56. So the small another incident happens that night. So that night, because it was getting very late and dark, and they were all very tired and hungry and everything, so they all decided to just camp at the forest itself, right on the banks of Kalindi, on the banks of Yamuna. So at the time, that night, because it was summer night, if you remember, they were all feeling very hot. That's why they ended up going to that water body anyways. So at the night, when everybody was asleep, then somehow, because of the dry summer, a forest fire comes up and it starts, engulfing that entire forest, right? It starts coming up in all directions. Nishi punas tamasa braja mandiram, brajitum akshama eva janotkare swapati tatra bhavach charanashraye, Davakrishanurarundha. You cannot break that word, so you have to say it together. Davakrishanurarundha samantataha. Nishipunastamasa vrajamandiram brajitumakshama eva janotkare swapati tatra bhavaccharanashraye davakrishanurarundha samantataha.
निशिपुनस्तमसाव्रजमन्दिरं व्रजितुमक्षमयेव जनोत्करे स्वपिति तत्र भवच्चरणाश्रये दवकृशानुररुन्धसमन्ततः.
And the third line, Shashi, third line, first word, swapati.
Swapati. I have swapiti. Swapati tatra bhavaccharanashraye. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Nishipunastamasavrajamandiram व्रजितुमक्षम एव जनोत्करे स्वपति तत्र भवच्चरणाश्रये दवकृशानुररुन्धसमन्ततः.
निशिपुनस्तमसा व्रजमन्दिरं व्रजितुमक्षम एव जनोत्करे स्वपति तत्र भवच्चरणाश्रये दवकृचानुररुन्धसमन्ततः.
Viji, and the fourth line, first word, Davakrisha, sha sound. Krishanurarunda.
Okay. निशिपुनस्तमसा व्रजमन्दिरं व्रजितुमक्षम एव जनोत्करे स्वपति तत्र भवच्चरणाश्रये दवकृशानुररुन्धसमन्ततः.
Answer 9. प्रबुदितानतपालय पालयेति उदयदार्तरवान् पशुपालकान् अभितुमाशु पपातमहानलं किमिह चित्रमयं खलु ते मुखम्. So at the time, when the forest fire comes, but the Gopas, for them, they don't know how Krishna is able to survive all these things or how he is able to do everything, but they know he can somehow protect them. So the moment this forest fire comes, they all start rushing towards Krishna and saying, Palaya Palayeti. He says, please protect us, please save us from this forest fire which is actually coming. So at that point, Krishna, it says, you don't even think twice. And what you do is you engulf the forest fire. You just swallow the forest fire. And this is going to happen in a couple of times, right? For a couple of times with Agni and one time with Varuna also it's going to happen. And then Bhattaripat very nicely summarizes it in one future Dashakam. But anyway, Krishna, you engulf you swallow off the forest fire. So Bhattaripat says, Kimiha Chitramayam. He says, what is great about you drink? It's not great. It's not that great that you're engulfing forest fire. He says, because your mouth itself is fire, right? So why is he saying that your mouth itself is fire? You all remember the stanza in Vishnu Sahasranamam, where it says that. Anyone remembers that? It comes in the Dhyana Slokam. It says, Bhuvpado Yasya Nabir Veda Suranilas Chandra Suryo Chanetre Karna Vasa Shiro Dhyaut Mukhamapi Dahano Yasya Vasteyam Abdihi. Your mouth itself is fire. Fire came out of your mouth. So when fire itself has come out of your mouth in the Virat form, what is so great about you just engulfing a forest fire? It says there's nothing great about it, Krishna, because Mukhamapi Dahano, right? So Prabudhi Thanata Palaya Palayeti. So the Q you have THYU, Q sound that's coming there, words. We're going to break it up. So Palayeti. Put a T there. And then comma. The next word will start with the U. Udaya Dartaravan Pashupalakan. Avitumashu Papata Mahanalam, comma. Kimiha Chitramayam Khalu Te Mukham. Prabudita Nata Palaya Palayeti Udayadartaravan Pashupalakan Avitumashu Papatha Mahanalam Kimiha Chitramayam Khalu Te Mukham.
Prabudita Anata Palaya Palayeti Udayadartaravan Pashupalakan Avitumashu Papata Mahanalam Kimiha Chitramayam Kalute Mukam. Prabudita Anata Palaya Palayeti Udayadartaravan Pashupalakan Avitumashu Papata Mahanalam Kimiha Chitramayam Kalute Mukam.
प्रकृतिपातानतपालय पालयेति उदयतार्तरवान् पशुपालकान् अवितुमाशुपपातमहानलं किमिह चित्रमयं खलु ते मुखम् प्रकृतिदानतपालय पालयेति उदयतार्तरवान् पशुपालकान् अवितुमाशुपपातमहानलं Kimiha chittamayam kalute mukam.
Stanza 10. Shikini varnata eva hi pitatha parilasat yadhuna kriyayapyasau iti nutah pashupair muditair vibho hara hare duritai sahame gadhan. So Bhattaripat wraps it up by saying the fire itself had when somebody says what is the quality of fire, so they say the adjective which describes fire is it's yellow in color, which is pita because pitambaram, right? So pita means yellow. He says now this pita also means in Sanskrit to drink. So he says now when people refer to fire as pita as an adjective, it was an adjective to say it is color of fire as yellow, but now you also made pita a verb to say to be able to drink fire. So fire now has, when they say fire and pita, it could either mean the color of the fire as adjective or to be able to drink fire, Krishna, because nobody else could do that. So you done it. So he's just kind of summarizing that. It says anyway at the end he says this way you protected the Gopas not only from Kalia in this Dashakam but also from the forest fire. So please at the similar way eradicate all my diseases as well as Duritaihi, along with all the sins I have committed. Because Kali and others committed sins, right, to be able to go through the suffering. So please eradicate all my sins as well. Shikini varnata evahi pitata, comma, parilasat yadhuna kriyayapyasau iti nutaha, put f nutaf, pashupair muditair vibho, comma, Hara Hare Duritaihi. Put a is to join. Duritais Sahame Gadan. Shikini Varnata Eva hi Pitata Parilasatya Kriyayapyasau Iti Nutah Pashupair Muditair Vibho Hara Hare Duritai Sahame Gadan.
शिखिनिवर्तन एव हि पीततां परिलसत्यधुना क्रिययाप्यसौ इति नतः
Muditair
मुदितैर्विभो हर हरे दुरितैः सह मे गतान् शिखिनिवर्तन एव हि
Sorry,
पिता
Shashi, and the word is Varnata.
शिखिनिवर्णत एव हि पितता पीततां परिलसत्यधुना क्रिययाप्यसौ इति नुतः मुदितैर्विभो हर हरे दुरितैः सह मे गतान्
शिगिनिवर्णत एव हि पीतता परिलसत्यधुना क्रिययाप्यसौ इति नुदः पशुपैर्मुदितैर्विभो हर हरे दुरितैः सह मे गतान् शिगिनिवर्णत एव हि पीतता परिलसत्यधुना क्रिययाप्यसौ इति नुदः पशुपैर्मुदितैर्विभो हर हरे दुरितैः सह मे गतान्
Shri Krishnaya Parabrahmane Namaha. It's 56. So 57, we'll switch right now. Radha, you can be a student, and Shashi Rekha, you can be a student. 57 is Pralambhasura Vadavarnanam. So somebody called Pralambhasura. It's a very small, simple chapter only. Maybe some stanzas, couple of stanzas, I'll combine and say the meaning here. Stanza 1. So this is one of those chapters like chapter Dasakam 44, where it's two-liners, but the tune is like the four-liner chapters. Okay. Ramasakah kwapi dhine kamad bhagavan gato bhavan vipinam sunubhirapi gopanham dhenubhirabi sambrito lasadveshah. Ramasakah is there. Put the ich sound. Ramasakah kwapi dine, comma. Kamada bhagavan gato bhavan vipinam sunubhirapi gopanam, comma. Denubhirabi sambrito. If you want to break at that ra, you can. Denubhirabi sambrito lasadveshah. Ramasakah kwapi dhine kamada bhagavan gato bhavan vipinam sunubhirapi gopanam dhenubhirabi sambrito lasadveshah. Radha, you get it?
Ready, yeah?
Yeah, go ahead.
Ramasaka kwapi dhine kamada bhagavan gato bhavan vipinam सूनुभिरपि गोपानां धेनुभिरपि संवृतो लसद्वेषः रामसकः कापि दिने कामदभगवन् गतो भवान् विपिनं सूनुभिरपि गोपानं धेनुभिरपि संवृतो लसद्वेषः
रामसखः क्वापि दिने कामद भगवन् गतो भवान् विपिनं सूनुभिरपि गोपानां धेनुभिरभि संवृतो लसद्वेषः रामसखः क्वापि दिने कामद भगवन् गतो भवान् विपिनं सूनुभिरपि गोपानां धेनुभिरभि संवृतो लसद्वेषः
Sandharshayhan badhaya swayham vrindavanashriyam vimalam kandirai sahabalaihi bhandirakamaagamo vatam kridan. See the meaning for these two. So one day, kwapi dine, so one fine day, right? So you, Krishna, along with Balarama, because certain places Balarama goes because Balarama has some duty to perform that day. So here, along with Balarama and along with the other gopas and the cows, everything, you went to the forest. So there, in Vrindavan, like they were exploring different places, right? Like last time they went to the place where Kalia was there. So similarly, when they were in the peak summertime at this time, like we saw last time also. However, it says even though it was peak summertime, Krishna, because you were there and everybody was around you, it felt like spring. Because they had the qualities of spring. Because wherever you go, that the pleasantness was coming along. So they were all roaming around in the forest. So once they decide to go to this place of the forest where there's a large banyan tree, those remember the banyan tree, it covers like really large size of land, right? So it's called Bhandi Rakha, was the name of the very famous banyan tree they had there, which was massive in size. So that particular day, you decide to go and play or rest under that banyan tree. Sandarshayan Palaya Swairam, Vrindavana Shriyam Vimalam, Kandiraihi, is there put a is, Kandirais Sahar Balaihi. So put a Visarga and comma there. Kandirai Saha Balaihi. Next line on top of the Bha, there is a Ir that goes away. Bhandirakam Agamo Vatam Kridan. Sandharshayan Balaya Swairam Vrindavana Shriyam Vimalam Kandirai Sahabalaihi Bhandirakamaagamo Vatam Kridan.
Sandartayam balaya swairam Vrindavanashriyam vimalam Kandhiryai sahabalaihi Bhandirakamaagamo vatam kridan. Sandarshayam balaya swairam Vrindavanashriyam vimalam Kandhirai sahabalaihi Bhandirakamaagamo vatam kridan.
Sandarshayan palaya swairam Vrindavanashriyam vimalam Kandirai sahabalaihi Bhandirakam agamo vatam kridan. Sandarshayan palaya swairam Vrindavanashriyam vimalam Kandirai sahabalaihi Bhandirakam agamo vatam kridan.
Answer 3 and 4 are same meaning together. Tavat Tavaka Nidhana Sprihayalur, we'll put a plus, Sprihayalur Gopa Murtira Dayaluhu. So that two lines are together. Daityaha, put a F, Daitya Pralamba Nama, comma, Pralamba Bahum Bhavantam Apede. Tavatavaka Nidhana Sprihayalur Gopamurtiradayaluhu Daitya Pralamba Nama Pralamba Bahum Bhavantamapede.
Tavatavakanidhanaspruhayalu Gopamurtiradayaluhu Daitya pralambanama Pralambabahum Bhavantamapede. Tavatavakanidhanaspruhayalu Gopamurtiradayaluhu Daitya pralambanama Pralambabahum Bhavantamapede.
Tavatavaka nidhana sprihayalur gopamurtiradayaluh Daitya pralambanama Pralambabahum Bhavantamapede. Tavatavaka nidhana sprihayalur gopamurtiradayaluh Daitya pralambanama Pralambabahum Bhavantamapede.
Answer 4. Janhannapyavijananniva Tena samam nibadda sauhardha Patanikate patu pashupavyabaddham Dvandva yuddhamarabdhaha. So when they were all there playing with their cows under that Bhandi Rakha, under that banyan tree. So that day, one of the Gopa boy did not come, did not join them for whatever reason. So there's another demon called Pralamba who had Pralamba Bahum. Bahu is hands. Pralamba also means long. So this Pralamba Asura who had long hands, he came in the form of the cowherd boy who has not come that day. So he has kind of that way he can actually mix along with the rest of the cowherd boys, and nobody will know that he's the demon, and they will think he's just that boy who ended up coming that day, right? So when he's there, so Janan api ajhanan iva Krishna, although the moment you saw that, you realize that this is not that cowboy, that cowherd boy who has come. This is a different asura who has come. But you somehow acted like, you did not know about it. And then they were all kind of just, playing games under that Bhandiraka banyan tree. So at that time, they decide to play a game, which is Dvandva Yuddham. They decide to break themselves into two teams and then start having a wrestling match between each other. They were just playing some games like that. So jananapya vijanan iva. You cannot break that word because it's janan api ajanan iva. Three different words. So you cannot have to say the whole thing the way it is, comma. Tena samam nibadda sauhardah bata nikate patu pashupa vyabhaddham, comma. Dvandva yuddham arabdhaha. जानन्नप्यभिजानन्निव तेन समं निबद्ध सौहार्दः वटनिकटे पटुपशुपव्याबद्धं द्वन्द्वयुद्धमारब्धाः.
Rajeshri, the patu pashupa, we put a kama anga, right? No?
After vyabhaddam.
Oh, okay. There is no kama anga. Okay.
No, patu pashupa vyabhaddam.
Okay. Janannapya vijananniv tena samam nibadda sauhardah vatanikate patupashupa vyabhaddham dvandva yuddhamarabdah.
Arabdhaha. Last word.
Arabdhaha. Janannapya vijananniv tena samam nibadda sauhardah vatanikate pashupa pavyabhaddham dvanda yuddhamarabdaha.
जानन्नप्यभिजानन्निव तेन समं निबद्धसौहार्दः वटनिकटे पटुपशुपव्याबद्धं द्वन्द्वयुद्धम् आरब्धाः. जानन्नप्यभिजानन्निव तेन समं निबद्धसौहार्दः वटनिकटे पटुपशुपव्याबद्धं द्वन्द्वयुद्धमारब्धाः.
गोपान विभज्य तन्वन् संघम, बल भद्रकम भवत्कमपि त्वद्बल बीरुम दैत्यम, त्वद्बल गतम अन्वमन्यता. You can break it that ma gatam अन्वमन्यता भगवन्. गोपान विभज्य तन्वन् संघम बलभद्रकं भवत्कमपि त्वद्बलभीरुं दैत्यं त्वद्बलगतमन्वमन्यता भगवन्.
गोपान् विभज्य तन्वन् संघं बलभद्रकं भवत्कमपि त्वद्बलभीरुं दैत्यं त्वद्बलगतमन्वमन्यथा भगवन्. गोपान् विभज्य तन्वन् संघं बलभद्रकं भवत्कमपि त्वद्बलभीरुं दैत्यं त्वद्बलगतमन्यथा भगवन्.
गोपान् विभज्य तन्वन् संघं बलभद्रकं भवत्कमपि त्वद्बलभीरुं दैत्यं त्वद्बलगतम् अन्वमन्यथा भगवन्. गोपान् विभज्य तन्वन् संघं बलभद्रकं भवत्कमपि त्वद्बलभीरुं दैत्यं त्वद्बलगतम् अन्वमन्यथा भगवन्.
ராஜேஷ்
Yeah.
பல பீரமா இல்ல பீருமா? எனக்கு வந்து பீரம்னு எழுதிருக்கு.
பீரும்
ரா இல்ல, அது ரூன்னு மாத்திக்கணுமா?
ரும் பீரும்
மாறுமா என்ன மீனிங்? ராக்கு ரூக்கு.
I don't know what bhiram means. Here it's Tvad Bala Bhirum here means afraid of your strength. Tvad Bala is your strength, Bhirum is afraid. I don't know what Bhiram will become. So just change it to
அதுவும்
Bhiram.
வீரம் தான் வரும். வீரம்க்கு தமிழ் மீனிங் வீரம் தான் வரும்.
Yeah, but that is Bhiram, right? That is valor, strength. That is this Bhiram is afraid.
ஓகே
So
மாத்தின்ட்டேன். தேங்க்யூ.
Bhiram meaning, yeah. Bala Bhiram. Stanza 6. Kalpita vijethruvahane samare parayutagam swadhaitataram shridhamanamadhattaha parajito bhaktadasatam pratayan. So say 5 and 6 meaning here. So they decide, when they decide to do this Dvandva Yuddham, they decide to do two teams because they have to wrestle against each other, right? So the Asura is little Tvad Bhala Bhirum Daityam. This Asura was afraid of your strength, because he knows what has happened to Trinavarta and everything. What he does is, Krishna and Balarama are the captain of the two teams. So people then had to go join various teams. So this Asura says, I'll come and join Krishna's team because he doesn't want to fight against Krishna. So he joins Krishna's team. Some people join Balarama's team, and then the duel starts. So the rules of the duel are, whoever loses has to carry the winner on their shoulder up to a particular place and come back. The two people fight, Dvandva Yuddham. So when that happens, Krishna, you decide to battle against your friend Sridhama. Like I said last time also, there's Sridhama is one of the friend whose name will kind of keep getting repeated. He's the one who said, let's go to a different forest last time also. So this Krishna, you decide to fight against Sridhama. Now this Krishna who has defeated Trinavarta, Sakatasura, Kaliya, all of that, who's going to lift Govardhana with his pinky finger, he decides to lose to Sridhama with the duel. The reason is because Krishna doesn't want Sridhama to lift Krishna and run. Rather, Krishna, you are Bhakta Dasatam. You are a servant or a slave of your devotees. So Sridhama is your closest of friend. So you would rather lift Sridhama and run. So because of that, Krishna, you then battle against Sridhama and then you lose in the fight against Sridhama. And so you now have to lift Sridhama and run here. So Kalpita Vijetru Vahane Samare, Parayutagam Swadhaitataram Sridhamanam Adhattaha. If you want to break it that ma, Adhattaha, Parajito Bhakta Dasatam Pratayan. So that you're proving to the world again and again that any of your devotees, true devotees, you never kind of, let them go. You are completely bound by your true devotees.
Can you say the third line, please? Sridhaman. I'm sorry, the second line.
Sridhamanam Adhattaha.
Okay.
Kalpita Vijetru Vahane Samare Parayutagam Swadhaitataram Sridhamanam Adhattaha Parajito Bhaktadasatam Pratayan.
Kalpita Vijetruvahane Samare Parayutagam Swadhaitataram Sridhanam Adatah Parajito Bhaktadasatam Pratayan.
The third line. Sridhamanam Adhattaha.
Sridhamanam Kalpita Vijetruvahane Samare Parayutagam Swadhaitataram Sridhanam. Correct?
No, see, the name is Sridhama is the name. Sridhamanam.
Sridhamanam Adatah Parajito.
Adattaha, and then a comma.
Sridhamanam Adattaha Parajito Bhaktadasatam Pratayan.
You want to do one more time?
Yes. Last line, huh?
Do it together, otherwise your tune will go off. Yeah.
Kalpita Vijetruvahane Samare Parayutagam Swadhaitataram Sridhamanam Adattaha Parajito Bhaktadasatam Pratayan.
Yeah, in the first line, the comma is after the word Samare, and then the comma. Okay. Yeah.
Rajesh, if I don't want to break the third line, can I read like this? Sridhamanamadattaha.
Yeah, you can write right. Absolutely. Yeah. What I don't want to do is say Sridhamana Madattaha, then that's wrong. So either you can do it continuously like you are reading right now, always, right? Yeah. So anywhere I'm breaking it, it's only for convenience. You don't have to break it there. You can read that word together if you're able to do the whole word together.
That is easy. It's
Okay.
full.
Okay, fine. Then you can just do the whole thing together. Yeah.
Rajito.
कल्पितविजेतृवहने समरे परयूथगं स्वदयिततरं श्रीदामानमधत्ताः पराजितो भक्तदासतां प्रथयन् कल्पितविजेतृवहने समरे परयूथगं स्वदयिततरं श्रीदामानमधत्ताः पराजितो भक्तदासतां प्रथयन्
एवं बहुषु विभूमन् बालेषु वहत्सु वाह्यमानेषु रामविजितः प्रलम्भो जहारतं दूरतो भवद्भीत्या. So then this duel starts, right? So each of them keeps fighting against two people. Two people start fighting against each other. Krishna loses to Sridhama. Now this Pralamba decides to battle against Balarama. Now Pralamba is also very strong, but the Pralamba's intention is to kidnap Balarama. So what Pralamba does is he loses to Balarama intention. He doesn't even fight. He very easily gives up. So with that, Pralamba now has to carry Balarama, and everybody is kind of, Sridhama is carrying Krishna, Krishna is carrying Sridhama, and so on, and they all start running towards that point up to which they have to carry and come back. So here, everybody goes there and they turn back and they come back to the original spot, but this Pralamba does not. He continues carrying Balarama away, right? And here, Bhattacharya uses the word Vibhuman, Evam Bahushu Vibhuman. Vibhuman means one who is infinite, right? He says, Pralamba is taking Balarama away from Krishna, thinking he's out of sight of Krishna. He doesn't realize that Krishna is infinite. Wherever you go, Krishna can see where you are, Pralamba. You cannot escape. But anyway, Pralamba takes Balarama and runs away without stopping there. Evam bahushu vibhuman, baleshu ahatsu vahyamaneshu. That's a half ha there. Vahyamaneshu. Rama vijitaha. Put a F. Vijitaf pralambo, jahara tam durato bhavat bhitya. Evam bahushu vibhuman बालेषु वहत्सु वाह्यमानेषु रामविजितः प्रलम्बो जहारतं दूरतो भवद्भीत्या.
एवं बहुषु विभूमन् बालेषु वहत्सु वाह्यमानेषु रामविजितप्रलम्भो जहारतं दूरतो भवद्भीत्या. एवं बहुषु विभूमन् बालेषु वहत्सु वाह्यमानेषु रामविजितप्रलम्भो जहारतं दूरतो भवद्भीत्या.
एवं बहुषु विभूमन् बालेषु वहत्सु वाह्यमानेषु रामविजितः प्रलम्बो जहारतं दूरतो भवद्भीत्या. एवं बहुषु विभूमन् बालेषु वहत्सु वाह्यमानेषु रामविजितः प्रलम्बो जहारतं दूरतो भवद्भीत्या.
That's it. त्वद्धूरं गमयन्तं तं दृष्ट्वा हलिनि विहितघरिमभरे दैत्यस्वरूपमागात् यद्रूपात् स हि बलोऽपि चकितोऽभूत्. So as this Pralamba starts carrying Balarama away, now beyond that point, so then Balarama realizes that, okay, you know what, this is not the cowherd boy who has not come today. Maybe this is some Asura has come. So Balarama starts increasing his weight. So when Balarama starts increasing his weight, this Pranamba Asura also has to start increasing his weight. And like what has happened with most of these Asuras, he then takes on his Swarupa Magad. He takes on his original form. The original form is something which is like a massive in size, and he becomes that massive form of his, and then that way he can easily carry Balarama. So once he becomes that size, it says Balobi Chakito, but even Balarama is also one of the incarnations of the Lord. But he is also acting as a mere cowherd boy. So he's beginning to act afraid or surprised, saying that how did this person become so big who is actually now carrying me so far, right? So this Asura is carrying Balarama and running away with that massive size. त्वद्दूरं गमयन्तं तं दृष्ट्वा, हलिनि बिहित गरिमभरे दैत्यः, put is to join daityas, swarupamagat, swarupam agat. So the dhya that you have there, we're going to break it up. First you put it, swarupam agat, comma. Next word will start with the ya. Yadrupat sahi balopi chakito bhut. त्वद्धूरं गमयन्तं तं दृष्ट्वा हलिनिबिहितघरिमभरे दैत्यस्वरूपमागात् यद्रूपात् स हि बलोऽपि चकितोऽभूत्.
त्वद्दूरं गमयन्तं तं दृष्ट्वा हलिनिविहितगरिमभरे दैत्यस्वरूपमागात् यद्रूपात् स हि बलोऽपि चकितोऽभूत्. त्वद्दूरं गमयन्तं तं दृष्ट्वा हलिनिविहितगरिमभरे दैत्यस्वरूपमागात् यद्रूपात् स हि बलोऽपि चकितोऽभूत्.
त्वद्दूरं गमयन्तं तं दृष्ट्वा हलिनिविहितगरिमभरे दैत्यस्वरूपमागात् यद्रूपात् स हि बलोऽपि चकितोऽभूत्. त्वद्दूरं गमयन्तं तं दृष्ट्वा हलिनिविहितगरिमभरे दैत्यस्वरूपमागात् यद्रूपात् स हि बलोऽपि चकितोऽभूत्.
Uchchataya daitya tanoho, that is there, put a visarga and comma, remove that, daitya tanoho. Twan mukham alokya durato ramaha vigatha bhayo dhrida mushtya, comma, brisha dushtam tapadi pishtavanenam. That's a 9 and 10 meaning together. Uchchataya daityatanoho त्वन्मुखमालोक्य धूरतो रामः विगतभयो दृढमुष्ट्या वृषदुष्टं सपदि पिष्टवानेनम्.
उच्चतया दैत्यतनोः त्वन्मुखमालोक्य दूरतो रामः विगतभयो दृढमृष्ट्या वृषदुष्टं सपदि पिष्टवानेनम्. उच्चतया तनोत्तवः
ओहो, that put visarga and comma there. Tanoho.
उच्चतया दैत्यतनोः त्वन्मुखमालोक्य दूरतो रामः विगतभयो दृढमृष्ट्या वृष्टदुष्टं सपदि पिष्टवानेनम्.
And that fourth line, first brisha dushtam. After the comma, brisha dushtam.
Oh, I skipped the brisha, right?
And you said, I think brishta or something, you added an extra ta there, but it's brisha dushtam.
Brisha. Okay.
उच्चतया दैत्यतनोः त्वन्मुखम् आलोक्य दूरतो रामः विगतभयो दृढमुष्ट्या वृषदुष्टं सपदि पिष्टवानेनम्. उच्चतया दैत्यतनोः त्वन्मुखम् आलोक्य दूरतो रामः विगतभयो दृढमुष्ट्या वृषदुष्टं सपदि पिष्टवानेनम्.
हत्वा दानववीरं प्राप्तं बलमालिलिङ्गितप्रेम्णा तावन्मिलतोर्युवयोः शिरसि कृता पुष्पवृष्टिरमरगणैः. So then, because that Asura had become massive in size and he was running away with Balarama, Balarama could now turn back and look at Krishna, right? So essentially, this is kind of saying that the way to imagine of this is the Pralambhasura is kind of all the desires and everything we have, right? So when the desires take you away from Krishna, takes you away from the Lord, which is what is happening to Balarama, then the moment Balarama turns back and looks at Krishna, then all his fear goes away, right? Essentially, which means that when your desires take you away from the Lord, all you have to do is come back. Very easy to come back. You just have to look at the Lord again, Bhagavan again, which is what Balarama does. The moment he looks back at Krishna, all his fear goes away of the Asura becoming massive in size, and then he realizes his own strength and potential, and then he hits that what do you call that Asura on his head. So when he Dhanava Hatva Dhanava Veeram, so once he kind of hits that Asura on his head, then that's the end of Pralambasura, right? So with that, Balarama comes back, and then the Ali Lingita Premna. So they all embrace each other lovingly, and everybody is very happy that the Asura is gotten rid of, and Balarama is safe as well. So Hatva Dhanava Veeram, comma, Praptam Balam Ali Lingita Premna, Tavan Milator Yuvayoho is there. Put a ish to join Yuvayosh. Shirasi Krita Pushpa Vrishtir Amaraganaihi. So that line is entire line is together. Hatva Dhanava Veeram Praptam Balamali Lingita Premha Tavan Milator Yuvayosh Shirasi Krita Pushpa Vrishtir Amaraganaihi.
The second line is full. There is no.
Yeah.
Okay. Hatva Dhanava Veeram Praptam Balamalingita Premna Tavan Millitayorvayo Shirasi Kruta Pushta Vrishtir Maraganaihi.
And the second line, Radha, Tavan Milator.
Tavan Milator Yavai.
Yeah.
Hatva Dhanava Veeram Praptam Balam Alingita Premna Tavan Milator Torvayo Shirasi Kruta Pushta Vrishtir Maraganaihi.
Two things. And the Yuvayoho is there, right? You have to put a ish letter to join it. Yuvayosh. Okay.
Or Shirasi Kruta Pushta Vrishtir Pushta.
The ra, if you break it into ir and a, it's easy to say it. Pushpa Vrishtir Amaraganaihi.
Also, it's I'm sorry.
Amaraganaihi. That's easy koncham.
Yeah. It's Balam Ali Lingita, right?
Yeah, I was going to say another. I think one Lee also you missed. I felt like that. And the first line, Radha, Balam Ali Lingita. So it's two Lees.
Okay.
Say the whole thing once more, maybe, just try it once more.
Okay. Hatva Dhanava Veeram Praptam Balam Ali Lingita Premna Tavan Milator Torvayoho Shirasi Kruta Pushta Vrishtiram Amaraganaihi.
Yeah, and again, and the Yuvayoho, the ish is big. Yuvayosh.
You remember words.
No. I think just put the ish there. That visarga is there, right? You can't just say the visarga unless you're stopping there. So you have to put the ish there. That's it. Tavan milato yuvayosh.
Why can't we stop Vayoho? There is a visarga, right?
If you want to completely stop that line there, that's okay. But in that, the meaning is, like with that, for both of you, Shirasi Krita, Pushpa Vrishti. So they shower flowers on both of you. So that's why we are not stopping in the middle there.
So put a yes sang. Yes.
H, ish.
Ish. Okay.
Atva Dhanava Veeram Praptam Balam Ali Lingita Premna Tavan Milator Yuvayo Shirasi Krita Pushpa Vrishtir Amaraganaihi. Hatva Dhanava Veeram Praptam Balam Ali Lingita Premna Tavan Milator Yuvayo Shirasi Krita Pushpa Vrishtir Amaraganaihi.
That's 11, last one. Alambho bhuvanhanam pralambham nidanameva marachayan kalam vihaya sadhyo lolambharuche hare kleshan. So this is lolambharuche, like a lola ambaruche is like color of a black bee, right? See, Krishna, who is the color of a black bee, you were able to then, with this way, you were able to get rid of Pralambasura also, and then save everybody, protect everyone else. Similarly, eradicate Kalam vihaya, without too much delay, right? Eradicate all the ailments and the diseases that I am also having. Alambo bhuvananam, comma, pralambham nidhanam. If you want to break, I'll break the word into three parts, but you can say it together also. Nidhanam evam arachayan. Kalam vihaya sadhyo, comma, lolambharuche hare harehe. Is there, put a ich sound to join. Hareh kleshan. Alambho bhuvanhanam pralambham nidanameva marachayenne kalam vihaya sadhyo lolambharuche hare hare kleshan.
आलम्भो भुवनानां प्रालम्भं निधनमेव मारचयन् कालं विहाय सद्यो लोलम्भरुचे हरे हरे क्लेशान् आलम्भो भुवनानां प्रालम्भं निधनमेव मारचयन् कालं विहाय सद्यो लोलम्भरुचे हरे हरे क्लेशान्
आलम्बो भुवनानां प्रालम्बं निधनम् एव चयन् कालं विहाय सद्यो लोलम्बरुचे हरे हरे क्लेशान् आलम्बो भुवनानां प्रालम्बं निधनम् एवमारचयन् कालं विहाय सद्यो लोलम्बरुचे हरे हरे क्लेशान्.
Shri Krishnaya Parabrahmane Namaha. We have about 8 minutes left. Yes, anybody wants to do a review of 55 from last class? Whoever I didn't pick today as student.
நான் பண்றேன்.
Okay, yeah, just 55 until you do, and then we'll stop. Yeah.
Okay. காளியமர்தனம் दशकं 55 कालियमर्दनम् अदवारिनिघोरतरं पनिनं प्रतिवारयितुं कृतधीर्भगवन् द्रुतमारितधीरकनीपतरुं विषमारुदशोषितपर्णचयम् आदिरुह्य पदाम्बुरुहेण च तं नवपल्लवतुल्य मनोरुचा मनोज्ञरुचा रतवारिणि दूरतरं न पतः परिकूर्णिदघोरतरङ्गगणे भुवनत्रयपारपृतो भवतो गुरुपारविकम्बि पृजुम्बिजला परिमज्जयदि स्मदनुःसदगं तडिनी जडिती स्फुटघोषवती अददिक्षु विदिक्षु परिक्षु बिदप्रमितोदरवारिणि नादपरैः उदगादुरगादिपदि स्वतुपान्दमशान्दरुषान्तमनाः पनशृङ्गसहस्रविनिश्रुमरज्वलदग्निकनोक्र विशाम्बुतरम् पुरदः पनिनं समलोकयता बहुशृङ्गिनमञ्जनशैलमिव ज्वलदक्षिपरिक्षरदुःखविशश्वनोष
And the bisha, so it's like Jwaladakshi Parikshara Dugra Bisha Swatanoshma Bhara.
Okay. Jwaladakshi Parikshara Visha Swasanoshma Parasamahabhujagaha Paritasya Bhavantamavana Mananda Balam समवेष्टयतस्फुटसेष्टमहो अविलोक्य भवन्तमदाकुलिते तडकामिनिपालकतेऽनुकने व्रजके हतलेऽप्यनिमित्तशतं समुदीक्ष्य कदा यमुनां पशुपाः अखिलेषु विभो भवदीयतशामवलोक्य जिहाशुषु जीव परम् पानिपन्दनमाशु विमुच्य जवात् उदगम्यत हास उदगम्य हास जुषाभवदा
And the last word, udagam yatha hasa.
जवाद् उदगम्यत हास जुषाभवदा अधिरुह्य ततः पनिराजपनान्ननुर्ते भवदां मृदुपादरुचा कलिसिञ्जितनूपुरमञ्जुमिलत् करकङ्कणसङ्कुलसङ्वनितम्
Sorry, Kritika, on the third line, first word, you said kali. It is kala.
कलसिञ्जित sorry जहृषु पशुपासुदुदुषुर्मुनयो ववृषुः कुसुमानि सुरेन्द्र गणाः त्वयि नृत्यति मारुतकेहपते परिपाहि समां त्वमतान्तगतात् कृष्णाय परब्रह्मणे नमः
I have a quick question. I'm sorry. The Dashakam 55 la. The third verse, last line, Tatini Jhatiti, adikapra enna varum? Sputa
Ghoshavati.
Okay. Thank you.
Krishnaya Parabrahmane Namaha. End the class here today. Sandhranandhavabodhatmakamanupamitam kaladeshavadebhyam nirmuktam nityamuktam nigamashata sahasrena nirbhasyamanam aspashtam drishtamatre punarurupurushartatmakam brahmatattvam tattavadbhati sakshad guru bhavanapure hanta bhagyam jananam कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि. Thank you, everyone. See you next weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rajesh ji.
Thank you, Rajni.
Bye.